It is a pleasure to sit in front of you today so that I share what I have prepared for you. It has been quite long since I did this. Actually, it has come to my attention that there are a number of my followers whom we started with way back. Of late, I've been focusing so much on the alternative housing and constructions. Of course, all of these are success stories and they are hustle stories, just like the title of this channel. I cannot forget where I started from, and this is where I started from. I started by sharing my personal experience about small businesses that I've been able to run, small retail businesses mostly. And I had quite a number of people supporting me in this journey. So somewhere along the way, of course, sometimes you get carried away with views. That is something that I have retrospected, and I'm glad I've come to this point that I now realize we should not just focus on the kind of views that we get. So this happened after I was able to shoot one very random edition about alternative housing, and it got a lot of viewership. You can check from my previous videos. If I'm able, I'll attach it here so that you are able to see. It had quite a lot of viewership, and it still is being viewed by a lot of people. So that, I must say, carried me away, and I forgot where I started. So this is what has prompted me to come back to shooting videos right in front of the camera as I share my personal experience, because I remember when I tried starting these small retail businesses, getting information is not very easy. And now that I had accumulated a number of people who were really giving me good feedback about the kind of content that I was putting across, it was actually very fulfilling even for me, because I was imparting knowledge. And this was just not knowledge that I got from books. It was knowledge that I had gathered from my own personal journey, trying to start a few retail businesses here and there. So now I sit here so that I am able to win back the trust that I had with these people that I started with. And over time, a good number of people have also been able to come aboard. They appreciate the content that I made about the hassles, everything about a small retail businesses way back. That was maybe over a year ago. And now I'm just happy to say that I'm back, and I'll be creating this kind of content for anyone who is struggling with a small retail business. And I will be happy to answer your questions in the comment section, any question that you have. I also interact with the small retail scale businesses every now and then. So if you feel like there is a particular type of content that you want me to share about small retail businesses, then feel free to tell me in the comment section. So I'll be doing this at least once in a week so that you do not miss out. If you're someone who likes this kind of content, then feel free to check in with me at least once every week so that you see what I've prepared for you. And with that very long introduction, of course, I'm not going to stop making content about alternative housing. Just because it is getting a lot of viewership does not mean that I stop doing this. I'll be doing both, because that is what a real sailor does. You know when to change ship. So welcome so much, and thank you for taking your time to click on this video. I hope you find true value in it. Please take time to subscribe to the channel so that you help us share this content across the globe. Most welcome. You've clicked on this video probably because you want to know, is there anything you can do to redeem your business? So you are on the verge of closing down your small retail business for one reason or the other. But before you go to that level, I'd like to challenge you so that you retrospect and see if really there's no other option than just to close down your business. So we all know that sometimes it gets so difficult. When you start a business, most of the time you are very emotionally attached to what you want to do. Probably you've done a lot of research and you've really struggled to get good funding, all those steps that usually people undertake so that you get to start your small retail business. And now you've been running it for some time and you feel like it is not what you expected, or you're not making the kind of sales that you thought you were going to make, or for some reason you just feel like it is time to close it down. So there are 5 pertinent questions that I'm going to challenge you with. You assess and get to see if really the only option that is now left for you is to close down your business. So stay put so that you get to know these 5 points. So point number 1, before you close down your business or before you decide that you are now done with this small retail business, how are your records? How are your records? So number 1 is records. This is a very important agenda and most people take it very lightly. You find someone is sitting in their very beautiful business, small retail business that you're running right now. It can be a mtumba shop, it can be boutique, it can be a retail shop where you sell general stuff. It can be anything. But how are your records? How are your records before you call it quits? And when I talk about record keeping, I do not mean you need to have ledger books and all those kinds of books that we've learned even in school before. No. You only need to tabulate what is coming into the business in terms of buying and what is going out of the business when you are selling. Also, you need to indicate when they come and when they go. You also need to monitor how much came and how much is going out. Yeah? So records is quite extensive, but it doesn't have to be complicated. You find someone with a 32-page book and they're just scribbling things in there, and they're not scribbling it as soon as they make their sales. That could be the reason your shop is going under, or that could be the reason your business is not thriving, your small business. Take time and find a hardcover book like this one. It doesn't have to be many pages. It can just be a few pages like 96, but it is hardcovered. It is something a bit strong, and then you just get inside and you get a ruler and you tabulate what you want to write. So on a very general scope, your records need to have the dates when you are buying stock and how much stock you are getting into the business on a particular day. Then on every single day, you have to indicate how much sales you've made and what items have you sold. Very simple. We do not want to complicate it. And at the end of the day, you'll have to dedicate your time so that you go and audit everything that has occurred on that day 1. If you're not doing that alongside keeping the records, then it is not going to be helpful. Records have to be kept and they also have to be monitored. If you do this every day, you are not going to lose track. And that will be the only indicator for you to know if the business is making any sales and if you are making it at a profit. So I'm going to create another video. Please stay put for the same. In the next edition, I'm going to cover exactly what you need to put in your record book so that if you are doing this very well, you should not come to a situation where you cannot account for the kind of stock that came into your shop and how much has been sold in a day and such kind of things. From this, you're also going to be able to tell if you're making a profit or a loss. And if you have been keeping such records, if I walk into your shop right now, you will be able to sit down and say, this is record enough. This is record enough. You can just consider closing your shop because it is not working. But you cannot discuss about a small retail business without records. We don't know where you're coming from. We don't know where you're going. So you do not have enough reason to say that you're closing the shop. Have you done everything right? So that is a challenge that I'm giving you right now. Please, if you've not been indicating records of anything in your shop, it is time to start. If you can do that for at least 1 month, and then the second month, then you'll be able to evaluate the kind of situation in your small retail business. Then now, you can make a tangible decision if truly you must close shop. Aside from just using hard copies for your record keeping, if you are able to and if you can afford it, then I'd advise that you get a POS system for your business. There are so many in the market right now. These ones makes your life very easy. Or if you do not want to consider that, then you can just use an Excel sheet on your laptop or on your phone. Or if you have an attendant who is usually left behind in the shop, they can just do a hard copy, and then when you come in the evening, you transfer these ones into your Excel sheet so that even when you're away, you can still work on it. You get to see what is happening here and there. So record keeping is just very broad. I cannot talk about it so extensively on this edition, but I'll make sure that I create another one so that we tackle the different kind of record keeping that we can do. I'll even go a step ahead and get into someone's shop who is using a POS so that they can tell us exactly how they keep their records there and how helpful the POS system is to their business. The second point that I'd like to bring to your attention, what is your payment mode? Are your clients paying by cash? Are they paying to your account, or are they paying to a mobile money transfer service? So you need to make it clear. If you are using all this, then it has to be very definite so that if it is going to your account, then let it be the business account. Don't mix money. Don't mix money, personal money with business money. If they are paying to your mobile phone, let it be a mobile phone that is dedicated to the business. Keep aside your business from your personal money, because that is where the problem usually starts. Aside from what I've talked about before surrounding record, the other mistake that most of us do when you're running a small business is to take your money casually. You are mixing personal money and business money. How do you account for it? Even if your record is very clear, if someone pays to your personal line, at the end of the day, it is very difficult to synchronize these payments. So you'd rather just have a particular line where at the end of the day, when you sit down with your records, you are able to say, this is all I've received in this line. This is all I've received in my account. And this is all the cash that we are able to handle today. So it is easy to balance your records with the mode of payment that your customers are paying to the business. And that I cannot insist. I cannot overstress on that. It is just clear. Separate your personal money from the money that comes into the business. It will make your life very easy. And at the end of the day, you are able to ascertain that this is what belongs to the business and this is what belongs to me. There's also a tendency for most of us to want to pick money from the business. If you're picking money from the business, use the records again to indicate that on such and such a day, I took this amount of money from the business and it has to go back. If you're loaning the business, the same scenario. You are getting money from your pocket to boost one area of the business on a particular day, but note it down so that you are able to know this is what belongs to the business, this belongs to me. And that is the only way a small retail business can thrive. But most of us do not do that. You'll attest to me that people just mix money. 1 minute, your child from CBC has come and they want you to buy. Teacher has said today we are going to buy watercolor. And you just open the drawer, you pick the sales from the day, you give it out. That is not right. That is not right. If you have to do that, then you have to indicate it down and make sure the money comes back, because you get used to this kind of process. You get used to it and your mindset is not set in a way that you differentiate your business from personal money. Over time, it just becomes very casual, and that is how your small business goes down the drain. But if you treat it like this is important, however much the business is small, just treat it like if it is 100 shillings for sales for that day, then let it be that way. Don't take it as though. I cannot over insist on that. And I hope the point is home. The third thing that you need to consider before you actually close down your business is very straightforward. Avoid debts. Avoid debts, especially when you are almost on the verge of closing down. I know this is a setup. It is a death trap for a business, and it happens very often. You find that probably you've sold most of your stock and you're feeling desperate. Now your shelves are looking like you do not have stock anymore. And most of the time, this brings a lot of losses, self-esteem in small retailers. So customers are coming and they're looking at your shelves, and you feel like, well, I do not have stock. What will they think of me? Then someone comes and, a salesperson realizes your desperate situation, and now they want to take advantage of it, because it happens most of the time. People are trying to make sales in whichever way possible. So if you are someone who is a potential target, they'll come to you. They'll come to you with most of the time very substandard products, and they want to give you at very attractive prices, and then they'll convince you that you take, then you'll repay later. So what usually happens when you take such products in debt, it means that your customers most of the time are not used to such kind of products and they find them probably substandard. Then they're not going to buy. Then it gives you with dead stock that you're not going to sell anywhere, and at the same time you owe these suppliers. So that will just be the end of you. So when you feel like you are not very sure about the direction your business is taking, then that is not the right time to take products in debt. Don't take products in debt, especially when you are in such a situation. Like right now, your mindset is very shaky, your esteem is very fragile. It is not the time to take debts. Just try operating with whatever you can. And if you have some personal savings from somewhere, or if you can scrounge and get a little capital here and there to boost the business, then do that. But don't go out getting products on loan. At the same time, don't go out asking for more money to buy more stock to resuscitate the business. So number one, you have to make sure that your records are good. How are your customers paying? And then just stay out of debt and loans until you are very sure that this is what you want to keep on doing and what is the direction. The next agenda that you need to realize and to really think about before you decide to close down your business is changing times or seasons. Changing times or seasons. There are products that usually don't sell at a particular time. Can you sit down and assess and make sure that this is not the situation in your kind of business? Maybe you are selling clothes or shoes. I do not know so much about that, but I have a feeling there is a season where such kind of sales are usually very high. You can think about maybe during holidays or during Christmas, such kind of seasons. I believe people get to buy a lot of such kind of products because they are sort of leisure products. So if you are running a kind of a business that is leisurely, then relax. Maybe it's not your time. And if you are new in the business, then that is the right time to try to understand your business. Learn the seasons that come and go in your business. But if you're running such a general kind of a retail business like a shop, then of course you expect to sell quite some every other day. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that you need to understand your business. Is it something that you expect to sell products every day? Is it something that comes and goes, depending on trends, depending on the time of the year, depending on what people are doing, depending on celebrations and festivals? Then if you understand that, you'll know that it is not time to close the shop. You just need a little more patience. You need a little more running capital so that you are able to pay your rent and other expenditures. Like if you are leaving someone in the shop, then you'll be able to pay them up until that time when you'll be able to make sales. Such kind of a business is, though not retail, there are seasons when people in the hotel and hospitality businesses really do make a kill. And it is known. It is either during holidays when children are home, that is when parents want to entertain their children, that is when parents want to entertain themselves, that is when people want to take leisure and take leave out of work and relax. So you expect, if you're in the hospitality kind of businesses and if you're selling leisure products and if you're selling trendy items like clothes and maybe shoes, then you expect to sell more during such kinds of time. But when children are opening school, of course no one is coming to buy a sports shoe at that time unless it is something that is really inclined to their going back to school. At such times, that most people do sell books, most people do sell uniforms. So if this is your kind of retail business, then just take a chill pill and understand the seasons that come and go in your business so that when that season comes, you are not anxious. And especially if it is a business that you've not been in for quite long, then you'll just relax and know that this is not my time. As much as I may get random customers every once in a while, but my time probably is coming. Then the next thing that I'll need to talk about is monitor your business. And most of the time nowadays you need to engage or invest in camera. That is the only way you can monitor your business. Aside from reporting there every evening, you need to consider getting a camera in your business. So there are very many types of cameras depending on how heavy or how light your pocket is. But this one is a very simple model that if you're interested in, I will just put a link at the description box at the end of this video so that you are able to see if this is something that can work for you. This is a very simple one that you just need to install somewhere in the shop, and then you'll get an app on your phone that helps you view what happens most of the time in your shop, so that when you come in the evening and someone you left behind tells you, no, today we didn't make any sales, then you are able to tell from just looking at the proceedings on your phone. So that is also a very direct point. Monitor your business the best way you can. Finally, I'd like to talk about acceptance. Acceptance. Sometimes you've tried all these things that I've talked about and your business is just not picking up, or it used to pick up and now it is going down, down, down. This is a very sad time in any business, because we all know that we put a lot of effort. We all put a lot of effort in our businesses, hoping that we are going to make sales and make profit, and of course enlarge the business. Who doesn't want that for their business? But if it is not working, then now you have to learn to accept that it is not working. I've tried step 1, 2, 3. I've reviewed all these agendas that I'm talking about in this video, and the business is just not making it. So then now you come into acceptance, and you accept that it is just not working. And maybe it's time to close shop. It is not the end of you running a business. You can always take some time off, review what went wrong. If there's none, of course, there has to be some explanation. Maybe there's too many similar businesses in your environment, and that will just make the competition too much. Or maybe the kind of products that you're selling are now easily available online, or you are not engaging people online, because right now, if you're not marketing some of your products online, then you're missing out on a lot of customers. Ever since COVID came, things have revolutionized around even small businesses, small retail businesses, and you just have to find a way you can mobilize and market your products on these social media platforms, including YouTube. You see now you can market a product. The camera that I'm talking about is not a paid promotion. It is just one of the agendas that I wanted to mention in my key points. But you can talk to me and I market your product even on YouTube, because right now I'm getting very good viewership. So that is one way you can market your products. Aside from that, you can get on Instagram. You can also get on TikTok. You can get on Facebook. So many social media platforms that you can use to market your products. And that is one way that you can actually boost your sales before you close down the business. And I do not wish to make this video any longer than it already is. I just hope that you review all the things that I've talked about and really find out if it is time for you to close your business. If that is the case, then don't give up, because you can always re-strategize and start another business that may work in your favor.